right. So, last time on Curse of Strahd, our intrepid adventurers, after waiting the night, getting a long rest, and preparing themselves for whatever dangers lurked within the swamp-filled ruins of the town of Perez, managed to cross a river, a plan that shockingly worked. And having crossed that river, formulated another plan to invade and bypass some of these scarecrows that were creepily hanging, that you had been warned were not only an alarm system but also a defense mechanism for the dreaded Baba Lysaga. Taking all that into consideration, you formulated your plan and you took to action. Within a matter of moments, that all fell apart and combat ensued as the scarecrows began to stealthily move their way through the tall reeded grass of the swamp and engage with you all in combat. A few moments later, Baba Lysaga herself appeared on her flying skull, and things took a turn for the worse. So as we find ourselves, Tensveta, you are face down in the cold, murky mud. Durango Fortescue, also feeling the cold, wet embrace of the earth around him. Ash, barely clinging to life. And Cole, standing proudly over this gnarled, twisted, bloody, tree-like corpse of the once powerful swamp hag. And that's where we'll pick up.
So it's Tens and Rango that are down currently, correct?
Correct.
All right. First thing I do is, flick the bit of blood off him, my spear, and run over to Rango, and I'm gonna cast cure wounds on him at level 2.
Okay.
Guess that answers that question. You got anything left for the dumb one?
Ben, that's 12 points of healing for you.
Much appreciated. Yeah, Durango coughs roughly a couple times and sits up, kind of looks down at his hands. There's some blood and some mud, some decaying vegetative matter, you know. Clicks his tongue, stands up, starts snapping his fingers, gets himself cleaned up, looks around. Oh, so Cole, I see that you have
why don't you make me a death saving throw?
Womp womp.
15. 1 success.
You just have the 1 success. You don't have any failures or anything yet. Okay.
Not this round of unconsciousness. That was the last round.
Right.
And according to this, I might be able to, so I'll run over to Tens next. And, says I got 1 more spell slot, 2nd level, so I'm, gonna go over and, it looks like, oh, you're bloody. And, find whatever the biggest wound looks like, and put my hand on it and cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level. And that's 16 points to you. And DM, just a point of, just a quick thing. How much was Baba Lysaga's, oh, never mind, I gotta roll for it. I get 10 HP with the killing blow there. And that's 8 points of temp HP.
As you go to heal Tens, you can see a bit of the little bit of blue that was starting to fade away in his hair into that ruddy brown, kind of like fills back in as he.
Alright, get up, come on. And then I stand my arm out.
You guys look like shit. Even you, Durango. It's alright.
I shall consider the source, Mr. Ash.
But I mean, the source is the fucking bloody mud puddle you're laying in, so.
Could you imagine a finer puddle in which to rest the blood of the great Durango Fortescue? And he snaps his fingers a couple times in Ash's direction, cleans him up a little bit.
a little more blood pops out. Yeah, we should probably not hang out here.
Tens takes the arm and pulls up and just goes, "Was it worth it? Did you finish it? I take it."
Whoa. Yes, see for yourself. And just gesture over to her radiated corpse.
Tens is gonna pick through it and see if he can find that stone.
Ash is going to be on the lookout for any leftover scarecrows.
Make an investigation check, Tensota.
Sounds about right. 7.
Well, it's difficult to find anything, right? You can see pretty much her entire form now has coalesced into this bark, like this tree that is just rooted. It looks like rotten and dead. This gnarled wooden form.
Disgusting. This kind of fuckery I used to have to deal with. He like kicks the skull a little bit, winces as he almost breaks his toe.
We may want to take a breather, get into one of these rotted out shacks for some cover.
I don't say we linger. I say we get to her shack, see if we can get the fucking stone and get out of here.
I do not like the idea of stumbling upon something as unpleasant as what we just faced without some sort of reprieve in between.
Everyone is holding on by a thread, mate. We gotta rest.
If she's here, it's probably fuckery. She may have friends back at her place too, so I don't know what that entails.
Yeah, all right. Guess I can't argue with that.
You look like you're just being held together with threads and sinew, mate. You could use it too.
Nothing quite like hate and discontent to keep you chugging along.
Yeah, so, is there, rotted out house that looks a little more dry than the rest, or is it all pretty well?
Make an investigation or a perception. Make a perception check for me.
Can I help him on that?
Sure. 1 second. Foundry's, booted me for some reason. I'm logging back in. Someone roll it for me.
Chuck, just go ahead.
$25.
25. So while the majority of the area is pretty damp and swampy, I mean, all of it is, and everything is rotten away. I mean, nothing looks dry. However, a base instinct would be get a little further away from the river, right? So looking at the ruins of the cottages up north, they seem to be a little more uphill and potentially a little drier than anything else you would see. Also, that church area or whatever this old manor was seems to be raised up on a hill, so it might actually be a better place to rest. Either way.
Well, they go to let us know if something's coming, at least. Well, besides the prince, yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea. All right, upsy daisy. Let's boogie. So, yep, making our way to the Goat Pen.
Yep. Start climbing.
Sure. So
Ash'll take point is gonna be
Yeah.
overly
So,
cautious.
yeah, okay, great. So as you guys maneuver along the remains of that dirt road that is still relatively intact, although it's primarily mud and overgrown with weeds and tall reeds. The southern end of the village on the southern end of the village lie the remains of a mansion built on higher ground. A little bit drier, although the moisture in the air is still makes everything a little mossy and slick. This ruin has been reduced to piles of just stone and rotting timber. Empty arched windows stare at you. You see that garden rampart that is surrounded by broken walls that no longer able to contain it as the garden just kind of runs over wild. And east of the ruin, the crude wooden fence. And getting closer now, you can see at the top of the wooden fence, inside you still hear the goats bleating, but on the tops of the fence posts sit these humanoid-looking skulls placed on the top of each individual post.
Are they all clean?
Yes.
Humanoid or human?
Humanoid. I mean, some of them are very recognizable as human, but there's others that are a little less human, kind of mixed in there. A smorgasbord, a wide array.
Does it look like something that Tins would find familiar as a way to warn off people from a hag's land?
Make a, I guess I'll give you history or arcana.
Arcana's better. 19.
19. So yeah, you normally you can see almost the threads through the fog of what remains of a magical alarm system. Although with her being deceased, you actually believe that it's probably still fine. But yeah, had you walked up here to the skulls, those skulls would have immediately have alerted her.
Glad we didn't come up here then. Glad we handled it the way we did. Again, maybe not. Maybe we would have only had to throw goats at her instead of dealing with scarecrows.
You know, people are always so nitpicky about, oh, you get it done. Fighting works. It works.
Doesn't always work, Cole.
You literally just had to pick these two guys up. You know,
But it still works.
With God hands, so work is a very loose definition.
I mean, you're alive, aren't you? Come on.
More blood. Yeah. Yep.
That's the spirit. So, Tens, you think we're okay here?
As far as I can tell, maybe.
As you say that, Tensveta, this intense cold suddenly passes over you. Durango and Cole, you feel it too in this moment. It's through the fog. In the manor ruin, you see this form begin to apparate.
And I'm done here.
This figure, this giant of a man, his features suddenly come to light in the fog, mutilated, entrails hanging out of him like frayed ropes, dangling and dragging along the ground. But despite the intimidating presence, the apparition has a almost cringing, meek light in its eyes as it... Why do you invade my home? Begone, I beseech you.
We were just looking for us, sorry.
Haven't I suffered enough? You'll find no treasure here.
Again, sir, I don't know that we're looking for treasure. It's just rest. We just got into a very harrowing encounter with Babala Saga.
Perhaps, my friend, in exchange for your hospitality, for, say, a brief rest, we could tell you tales of our adventures. I suspect you have not heard much news of the outside.
Outside. Rest. Make a persuasion check. At disadvantage.
Who, me or him?
Durango.
At disadvantage, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shit, I got one more borrowed talent. Yeah, let's do it. Is the second roll also a disadvantage? Or is it just roll an extra dice?
You're replacing the 4, so it's a 17 and a 4, so you're going up against a 17.
Oh my god. Dude.
Anybody want a warlock? Anybody?
I'd have to start.
What would I care for news of the outside? Be gone.
Well, my friends, I find this specter quite compelling. Perhaps we should be on our way, yes?
I think that would be wise.
Durango's already backing away.
Tens has already turned around and started walking away.
Cool, with a little bow and a flourish. My apologies. And just sort of starts walking backwards, still bowed, and turns on heel.
Ash looks at the thing and goes, what they're trying to say is we killed old what's-her-face lives in the stump. Probably killed you by the look of the claw marks with your ripped open gut. So, if you're holding on for that, maybe don't anymore.
There's only one being that traps me here for all eternity.
Oh, who's that? Because if we kill them, could then we rest?
Strahd von Zarevich.
Right, okay. Well, that one might take a little bit longer.
Leave now.
Yeah. Blessed day to you and all that bullshit. Ash walks away.
And as you step down, back down the slope, into the muck, the vision, dissipates.
Oh, this looks nice over here. And I start walking to, like, the nearest rotted out cabin. It's got good bones.
Can we just go get the shit and then we can go camp outside of this fucking weird town?
At this rate, it's not worth it anymore. We might as well just... We know we can at least stay at the stones, and we know we can get across the river again. Let's just go figure out what's there and leave. It's not... I'm so...
My friends, this is an open corner lot. Look at this. It is a highly desirable piece of real estate in an up-and-coming community.
You just want another fucking hour-long rest, and we all know it.
We could all use it.
It says it needs work, which means it's shit. It's got that weird carpeting from 40 years ago. It's got looks like leaves.
It's got a real solid concrete foundation.
My friend, these are matters that we can all discuss from comfortably inside, yes, while we rest.
How can
Conversely, as you are all having this conversation, there is the Baba Lasaga's ramshackle hut, that wooden structure just sitting and resting atop that rotten tree stump that is climbing out of the swamp like some sort of giant insect. Just throwing it out there. There's always
I'm just saying, it's right there. It's just right there.
Mate, if there's something
and
in the
I
front
don't-
door,
I
If I
don't
die,
believe-
leave me. And Ash goes over and kicks open the front door of the stump.
Okay. So you know, as you approach it, we'll say. Well, why don't I just went here? Just don't read too much into it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I know you said don't read too much into it, but I'm already here. I'm already reading too much
Yeah.
into it.
I've read more than I care to.
I don't need the black screen.
Just
Go
because
back.
there's a battle map doesn't mean.
It's probably so you can fight her in her hut, but still.
Yeah. So
Oh, look, birds.
as you approach this ramshackle wooden hut built on this stump of this enormous tree, the open doorway is visible on one side of the hut. Ignore the skull; it's no longer there. Flanking the hut's doorway are two iron cages that dangle like hideous ornaments from the eaves. Scores of ravens, you hear them screaming and squawking as you start to approach, are trapped in each one.
I don't know why I feel like we should be obliged to let those out.
You said they
Fear
were
not,
caged?
my feathered friends. The great Durango Fortescue has come to set you free.
Yeah.
He has nothing to actually do it, though. Just
Tin-
kind of looks at Tim's head.
Tins is going to just look at him and palm a shooter, and as he does, a spectral white, like almost crystalline hand appears as he uses mage hand to go and try and jostle him open.
So the cages are locked.
Well, fuck, jeez. It's locked. I can't. There's nothing I can do right now.
About how high up are they?
They are sitting, so they're almost perfect because these large roots that are coming out of them. So it's not equidistant, I guess, from each one. I would say one's maybe 6 feet above one of these roots. The other one's maybe 4.5 feet.
Oh, so they're within
reach if you stand on the roots and climb up. Yeah.
and how are they attached? Are they chained? Are they roped?
Looks like chain hanging from a pole that is outstretched from the top of the hut.
The pole's metal as well?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna try to rip these things down, but those are solid chains. Kenji, I know you're tired, mate, but you think you can... It's not that high up, I can boost you.
Yeah. Fine. And he reaches into his coat and kind of pulls out a set of tools and heads over to it and starts to kind of like, rather than waiting for him, he's going to use shape water to freeze the fog in the air into steps, like just wide enough for him to get up to it, but just enough to kind of move his way up.
Okay. So as you coalesce that moisture in the atmosphere, you climb it like steps that appear suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty within that 10-foot square to get you up to where you need to be.
And then he's going to use his thieves' tools to try and crack him open.
Go ahead and make a check then. Dexterity, whatever. Thieves' tools check.
The whole time Tens is doing this, Durango.
Make a test roll.
Good sound
Shut up.
for it. Just picking at that mandolin.
Got a 15.
Vaguely reminiscent of the Jeopardy theme.
Just in like the minor key, make it a little ominous.
Din, 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 din. Wait a minute. Yeah. So with a 15, you easily pop the lock on the cage as the crows or the ravens, I'm sorry, spill out into the air excitedly. Swirl around. You can see that they all stop and they begin to almost peck at the other cage.
Yeah, I'll get to it in just a second. Sheesh. And he's gonna use the shape water to kind of make the steps again as he goes down and across, and then coalesces the fog to get over.
I'll give you with the first one being a 15. It's the exact same lock. You easily get in. You know how to pick it.
Okay.
Pops open, and all of the ravens again swarm out. Call loudly several times before swirling in the air and dissipating off into the sky beyond.
Closes his package up and sticks it inside of his pocket.
In the voice of a small child, Ash just goes, "Bye-bye, friends."
What the fuck?
Mate, those could have been actual people, you know.
Yeah, but they were friends either way.
You don't know that. Anyway, just... Cole, can you go in first, or you want me to go look to see if there's something happening in there?
No, mate, I can go first, it's fine. I think I look a little less worse for wear than the rest of you. Is the front door open, or? Yeah.
It is open, Cole. And as you begin to approach, you climb these ramshackle wooden stairs that lead up into the stump and to the shack itself. The hut is about 15 feet on either side in the interior, packed with old furniture. And as you get close, you can start to see it, and the thing that immediately grabs your attention is the crying. Not the normal sob of a person, but like a baby crying loudly. And in the interior, you see amidst that old furniture, a small wooden crib slowly rocking back and forth. As you get closer now, you can see the rest of the interior, right? This wooden cot, a wicker cabinet, a slender wardrobe, a wooden table, a stool, barrel-topped wooden chest reinforced with brass bands, an iron tub stained thick brownish red. And in the middle of the room, that ghastly wooden crib. Everything except for the crib is bolted to the floors. You can see it. The bolts there, which is odd. It immediately catches your attention. And beneath the crib itself, green light seeps up through the cracks beneath the rotting floorboards.
Oh, this is fucked.
Is there anything?
A baby?
You what?
Yeah, you was right. Come here.
Not very good with kids.
Mate, I don't know if this is... Look beneath his crib. It's green. Sort of think the crystals down there.
Probably. Jens is gonna look at the floorboards around the crib, and with his proficiency in wood carvers, can he see if he can find a way to get, like, without touching the crib, get underneath to get to where that crystal is? Or to get to where that glowing is, at least?
Make a, I guess, investigation with advantage.
Has anybody looked in the crib?
I'm not great with
19.
kids.
With a, you say 19?
Yep.
Yeah, with a 19, you can tell that the floorboards underneath, while they are fairly firm, it wouldn't take much for someone like Ash or even Cole to just pull them up, or even just crowbar. They can be smashed or pulled up. They are just wooden floorboards.
Okay. So my goal is to try and stay away from the actual crib as much as possible without, like, messing with it. How difficult would it be for me to pull out, like, my small saw that I have from my woodcarver's tools and saw through a portion of it? fairly quickly, or like a gouge, and like kind of gouge the way through to make a small hole in the boards.
Quickly is a strong word. I would say it would take several minutes.
Sure. But it's not going to take a half hour for me to get through to it.
Right.
Okay. Then yeah,
Well,
he's
it's
gonna...
And you think they could probably be pried up even easier as well. So.
Okay.
Is there anything in the crib? Did we establish that and I just missed it?
Yeah, there is a very angelic-looking baby. If you take a look in there, you can see it just crying.
Tens is not going to touch it. Mm-mm.
Well, okay, just leave it here.
You also don't know if it's just fuckery.
It
These
could be
hags
fuckery.
tend to do, and these hags tend to do stupid shit like this. Would you like me to check and see if it's magical?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mate. If it's a real baby, we can't just leave it.
Okay. Then how about you guys get down here and take this board out so we can get down to it, and it'll take me about 10 minutes before I can detect magic, as he begins to pull out those marbles that spin in his hands as he begins to go through the different layers of magic in the room.
All right, where is everybody? Just so I get.
Fireball.
Is everybody inside? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I really want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Durango would be right over by the chest.
Of course.
Yeah, I'd be ripping open the floorboards, I believe.
Ash would help if there's room.
All right, Cole. The second you go to yank on those floorboards underneath the crib, two things happen immediately. One, the entire house starts to shake and quiver. You hear them creak and snap a little bit as it just begins to lift up and shift and move. I need everybody in the house to make an athletics check for me.
I knew it.
Athletics?
Or acrobatics.
Okay, thanks.
I knew it.
13.
13.
Natural 20 for 23.
Nice.
Right, so Tensveta and Durango, you guys are just kind of banged against the wall as you, the whole house just shifts to the side. You can see the whole thing now. That's everything bolted down stays. The crib still stays where it is, but everything else bolted down stays in position. But the whole house just suddenly shimmies and seems to come to life, and then begins to actively try to shake you out of it. What are you doing?
I'm gonna bonus action blade sing to give myself some balance here. Give me advantage on acrobatics checks.
I'll grab onto the nearest bolted down piece of furniture. Probably this desk over here, like either the chair or the desk leg.
Yep. Durango's gonna full body cling to this chest he's been sitting on.
Yeah, I guess Tens will grab a hold of that cabinet.
All right, so as the entire thing starts to shake and move, it gets more and more aggressive as it is trying to rid itself of all of you. So as that's happening, and all of you are grabbing on now, I just need give me, for those of you that are holding on to something and or I guess not blade singing, give me one more athletics check to see if you are thrown from the hut
Or acrobatics?
Oh, yeah.
or acrobatics.
So if we're holding on to something, we're good, or...
If you're holding on to something, I'm going to say it's strength.
Oh, okay, well then...
If you want to use your acrobatics to try to stay in the building, then you can go that route.
The dichotomy of D&D. Natural 1 for 4.
Natural 20 for 26.
Ooh, an
22.
8.
Yeah, Durango will not be hanging on then. He will be nimbly jumping from surface to surface as they become available.
Yeah, pretty much. Tens is like doing flips and shit.
And Durango's doing a fucking river dance in here trying to stay upright.
In the process of them doing that, one of them fucking elbows Ash in the face and throws him off his game.
It was Tens.
Well, it was definitely tense, but...
All right, Ash and Cole, you each take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you are actively just the whole house kind of twists and maneuvers and turns sideways as it shakes you out of it, and you slam against the ground in the muck underneath.
And Ash just doesn't get up. Doesn't start.
I run right to the building, and I don't want to take a short rest at all. I got 4 HP.
Okay, first off,
The house.
let's talk about this for a second.
I need everybody to roll initiative. I guess that's
Oh,
alive.
I guess that's a lie.
Listen, I'm just trying to make sure everything's clear and
Oh,
you guys have
good.
a really good understanding of what's happening.
Natural 1.
I'm gonna cry.
I mean, I
Well,
guess I
good
should have
news is-
known that.
Good news is that somehow the house's initiative is less than 1. So there's your first win of the evening.
That's still pretty fast for a house. Let's be honest here.
Durango.
Yeah, Durango is just going to start shooting at the walls, trying to subdue this thing.
Hit the freaking floor.
All right.
I'm sure the
Durango's-
aiming is kind of tricky with this thing trying to
See if
shake us
you can-
loose.
See if you can hit the
Tricky.
broadside of a moving hut.
Rolling hot tonight, boys. That's an 11 for the first one.
Yeah, 11 misses as you go to gear up. I guess with your Eldritch Blast, it just the whole house just is continuing to shift and shake. It is aggressively trying to get you out of it. And that first one just goes right through like right out a window. Does nothing.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
For 11 damage. That's really all I got because somebody insisted that we not rest before we come in here.
So, yeah, is that your Eldritch Blast? You just slam it against the wall, right? The bits of wood and kind of shatter and spark everywhere, but the entire thing is still unaffected. It's hard to tell if a house is getting damaged. I mean, I guess it's easy to tell if the house is getting damaged. Just don't know. I mean, how many hit points could it have? Ash.
Yeah, roll that death saving throw. Is that what you want out of me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10.
What's a success?
Nice.
You just kind of barely cling to life. Your consciousness waning on the ground outside. Then Sveta.
Does it feel like it's going to be actively trying to toss me out again? You're muted.
It's in the process of actively trying to toss you out of it.
Can I see out a window?
At disadvantage because it's kind of all over the place, but sure. And what are you trying to do? Maybe let's go that route.
I'm thinking of what I can do. So there's part of me that wants to cast grease underneath one of the roots to see if I can't get it to fall over. But I don't know if this thing can go prone. Do I think that putting grease underneath the root will help me in any way?
You should just.
You would.
Listen,
I'm just gonna say no. I mean, it's
Okay,
got
cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs as it is, and they're all
Figured
just,
as much.
it's slammed into the ground. Yeah.
Okay, then we're going to, probably since we're blade singing, would having here's a real dumb question. Would having Durango give me my technicality of having a friend within 5 feet of the house for the purposes of sneak attack?
I'm gonna say no due to the size.
Okay. All right, here we go. Stab at the floor.
So you're going for the floorboard still?
Yeah, I'm going for the floorboards. I want the rock.
All right, you're trying to. So you're just trying to smash through it with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure, go for it.
We'll make it a booming blade too. 24 to hit.
24 hits. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Oh, Jesus. 6 points of radiant damage, and then another 1 point of thunder damage. 7 points of damage, and then if the house moves 5 feet, it's gonna take some thunder damage.
So
that was a rough set of rolls.
And then he will bonus action, considering he already had it up. Give Durango advantage on his next attack within 30 feet of me.
okay, so I'll give you this. As you are slamming into those floorboards, two things are happening at the same time. One, the house is still aggressively trying to shake you out, right? So it's difficult, but it's difficult to get a good hit in, especially with the sunblade. Like, you're trying to figure out how the best way to get at it. Are you trying to pry it open, right? Or just, and then finally you just give up and just start hammering the sword into it. You see bits of wood splinter off, and as it does so, the house just continues to shake violently. That thick green light underneath getting brighter and brighter from somewhere underneath. And in your haste, the crib itself is still on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which you then realize has no actual physical form. It's completely illusory.
Is there a hole where I can get into the space?
You can't
where
get into it yet, no, but you can
Okay.
see the light coming through. Yeah.
It was a fucking fake baby! She's just like stabbing into the floor.
Cole.
Oh, there's oh, shit. Okay, Ash. Wake up now.
Hey. Hey. The house is fighting us.
It's Death House all over again.
I'm gonna try to drag Ash out of the way of a rampaging house. Just trying to get some distance between us and the roots.
I genuinely appreciate that. I thought I'd like, guess I'm just laying here.
Nah, fucking let him die. Come on.
To be fair,
man
I did
deserves
say
to die
that
to a
before.
house.
Before.
Not to a
Welcome
house,
to
but-
Kansas.
It's too humiliating to survive like vampires and like all the other shit we've been through in this land.
Die to a
And
house.
to get killed by a house? No.
Yeah,
We
that's
started
some
with a
honest
house
shit.
and we'll end with a house.
Not even like a proper house. It's just like a stump.
Yeah, it's a stump with legs.
Place is a fucking dump.
Alright, what do you want me to roll, DM?
What you're just trying to drag him away?
Yeah, I'm trying to get him out of range of these roots.
Yeah, you don't need to roll anything. I mean, you can just move half your speed. Yeah.
Alright, yeah. That's what I'll do. I'll move him. I mean, the small map, but 15 feet away, probably, you know, cross like over this way.
Sure.
Ash comes to consciousness long enough to
Pull
say,
yourself off on the map.
Yeah, that was an accident.
"Flee, flee."
I like
Yeah, that
You
wasn't
didn't
on purpose, but you know.
didn't get you back on there now.
Yeah, I can't click my token anymore. It's just jettison itself into the void.
Makes sense.
Bye, Cole.
Later, guys. I'm out of this place.
Drops
This place
Ash,
sucks.
keeps
I'm
running.
Oh,
I quit.
Well, I guess
The
we're-
house-
We're just having a little house fun, you know. It's
The house grew
hunters.
legs. The house hunters. Jesus. How long were you holding on to that one, JD?
I just thought of it.
Pretty good one.
No
Good
wonder
job.
no wonder nobody wants to live in this neighborhood.
But they got good foundations.
Yeah, you know, it's a nice old brownstone, good neighborhood, ambulatory.
All right. Well, with that, it's the house's turn.
You only have one neighbor. He's kind of
The,
a dick. Doesn't like you on his lawn, but
The first attack is going to go to Tensveta.
Oh, for fuck's
As
sake!
one of the roots on the exterior just crashes through a window and attempts to, I guess, pin you to a wall. That's a
16 misses, sucker.
Okay.
My AC's 18 while I'm blade singing. Bitch.
The next one for Durango is a 22.
Bye, Rango.
Yeah. Tell me it's not disadvantage attacking things inside of yourself.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's
28 points of damage as this root slams you against the wall and then tosses you from the house, from the inside of it.
Wherever it
Durango
lands,
lands in a pile.
The next one, one of the roots, Cole, outside. You see it just reach down into the muck and pull up this massive rock as it just hurls it.
It can
in your
throw
direction.
rocks?
That is an 18. I'm sorry. Yeah. 18 to hit.
That's my armor class.
You take 25 points of bludgeoning damage as that rock slams into your armor. You're dragging ash. You pull your shield up just in time to take a lot of the brunt of it, but it just crumbles against you and just crushes you backwards.
Don't forget your -3.
That was a bludgeoning. Oh, thank God for the. Well, I mean, okay, still.
So 22 points of damage.
Yeah. This is. We gotta go.
We're okay. Nobody's in the house.
We've got to go.
All right. And with that, Durango, make a death saving throw for me.
Boom.
Wow. Durango, you cough as you land on the ground. Suddenly, just the impact of the landing on the ground, like, spurts you right back to life. The air just fills your lungs. Yep.
Spurt you back to life?
Spurts him back to life, yes.
Disgusting.
Spurt me to life.
Spurt sounds like a character. Spurt sounds like a character, an NPC in one of your games.
True.
I mean, I thought it was for a second.
Yeah, so Durango gets to his feet, does a quick assessment of the situation, and bravely runs away. Yeah, he dashes as far away as he can.
You can go the other way if you want. So you run the complete opposite direction away from the house?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Muted, buddy. Excuse me.
Death save and throw, I'm guessing. Or a 14.
Another success, despite the fact that that rock just crushed Cole. You are still hanging in there in the mud.
Stop.
Tenzveta.
All right, well-
Decisions.
Nobody else is in here, so I'm just gonna cast Frost Fingers at the floor and try and freeze the boards before I jump on them to try and get to the fucking crystal.
Okay.
Does it get a saving throw considering it's on the interior?
I will say unnecessary. Just roll the damage.
It's telling me to place the template, so I'm just gonna put it right. Hurrah.
I mean, its constitution is a 20, believe it or not. It's a house.
10 points of ice of cold damage.
And yeah, so as you blast this down onto the floorboards, they just erupt. They freeze over and then just shatter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
you can
jump.
see now. Yeah, you don't even need to jump down. So you can see the gem now, wrapped up in this mass of like roiling roots that is just like coalescing around it, and they are squirming and worming like snakes in this cavity.
How big of a hole did I make?
Enough that you can reach down into it and try.
But
to
could
grab
I
the gem.
could I try and stand in it for 3/4 cover from the roots that are coming in the windows?
I would say it's not deep enough to stand
Okay.
in. Like you could
Listen.
stand in the hole, but it's not really deep enough.
All right, and then we're grabbing that crystal. We're gonna try and rip that crystal out as a bonus, if you'll let me. Unless it takes an action to do so, and then I won't worry about it.
Are you standing in the hole?
Sure. I'll use 5 feet of movement to stand in the hole
Okay,
and
great.
try and get it out.
And that was it. That's all you needed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the room.
Okay,
I'm in
okay, cool.
the
Hole.
small house. Well, no, I was gonna try and rip it out and then get out if I can.
Yeah,
Unless that was
you're
taken.
not gonna happen this turn.
Got it. Cool.
Yep.
Great. Wonderful. That's my turn.
Hmm.
I'm gonna continue dragging Ash, and I'll use my action to dash with him if possible to get 30 feet of movement.
Okay.
And I'm trying to put as much distance between us and these roots, and hopefully get behind. I don't know how close they are, but maybe get behind one of those rotted out houses to take cover from it hurling rocks.
Okay. Great.
And
So
as I'm
you-
dragging them, I'm gonna yell to the Tens Veta too. Sorry. Tens, get out of here! It's not worth it.
Tens, you hear Cole's voice outside shouting something. But as he is shouting, something else is happening. The house again shaking violently now. That hole that you've just created, that you've just stood in. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
As the floorboards in the roiling mass of roots you watch underneath you that you are now standing in begins to form teeth in the shape of a giant rotten mouth that just begins to clamp down and close around you.
The house has teeth too? This isn't fair. Oof.
10.
10 is not going to do it.
Curious to see what the damage of a bite attack.
Yeah,
on a house
as
is gonna
it
do.
bites down on you, you can feel it suddenly grip onto your legs underneath. You take 10 points of piercing damage.
Is that considered an attack, or is this something that would be just strictly saving throw based?
It's strictly saving throw based.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna eat that 10. Great. Cool.
But I'm going to say that you stand out of it at that point.
Sure.
And here come the roots. You guys all watch as just in the interior now, as you begin to flee from it, they all focus on Tens Veta as the roots just start jutting in back inside itself, trying to get at Tens. The house is whipping around
Miss.
madly. 17 is a miss. The second root is a 20.
That hits. This is gonna hurt, and I'm gonna be unconscious. I can feel it. Yep.
30 points of damage.
Yep. I'll go ahead and use my reaction to half that, but I'm still only at 6 hit points, so I'm unconscious.
All right, so as Tens Veta falls unconscious, suddenly you watch the house just shift in place and sit right back down. I guess we have death saving throws going. I'm going to keep an initiative order here. So Durango, as the house settles back down, sits back down into the swamp, everything quiets once again as it all just, the whole scene just, as if it never even moved.
Durango's going to limp around the perimeter of the hut towards where he assumes Cole and Ash would be. meet up with them.
Ash, another death saving throw for me.
Okay. 19. That's 3 successes.
So close, yeah. So you are stabilized. Hole. I'm sorry, Tenzveta. Death saving throw, please.
$16 is a success.
As you are sort of half in, like lying on the floor now, just like a root still wrapped around you, just crushing you against the wall. You were barely clinging to life as the blood is just spurting from your spouting from your mouth. Cole.
Man. Everyone else is running. I'm going to attack the floor. Jeez.
Don't know what to tell you, man.
It
was right
gone
there.
Either way. Could have gone either way.
And this house told me no.
I have 4 HP and no spell slots. I can do nothing for you.
You did.
Could stabilize on his own in there.
Good.
What is it? You gain what? A hit point every 4 hours or something like that?
Last I knew it was just you get you get your 8 hours in, you get rest, but you're kind of screwed.
There's nothing I can do for tens, unfortunately. I don't have the movement to get in there, and I don't. I'm gonna try to just make my way towards the front door and see if I can just like look up and in there to see if he's still in there. But yeah, I can't do. I'm too badly beat up, mate. I can't do anything.
Perhaps, Sir Cole, you would stand back at a safe distance and allow the great Durango Fortescue to attempt something.
Durango, you just about see him from here, I think. I think that's him.
My friend, this could go poorly, and I would encourage you to be ready to perhaps catch me once I am ejected. Yes.
I'm just while he's preparing, I'm just gonna like trace him from behind, sort of like sort of a triangular like tackle position, to make sure he doesn't go flying.
So Durango spins on his heel very quickly, and as he stops, his appearance is taken on that of the hag, and doing his best to mimic the motions of that opponent they just faced. He's going to walk towards the hut. Yeah, towards the door.
You start to walk closer and closer to the hut. Nothing happens. It sits there looming in the fog. That open door just sort of staring at you now, almost like a mouth waiting for you to enter.
Yeah, like a miner trying to
make another death saving throw for me.
It was a failure.
Okay. Go ahead, Ben.
Durango does his best to act like he belongs there and approaches Tenzveta's prone form and, kind of gives him a little slap on the cheek.
It's 2 failed death saving throws. That's an attack. Right. Permanently dead.
No response. He's unconscious. That's what if you're just literally tapping him.
Yeah, Durango's gonna try and drag him out of there.
Okay. You can see that hole in the floor, that green light just shining through. As you grab Tenzveta and you slowly carry him out of the hut. Nothing happens, but Tenzveta, I need another death saving throw.
Ooh.
Second failure.
Right, Durango, you carry him out. You can feel his body growing colder.
Yeah, like the hair is turning ruddy brown.
Durango's going to haul him over towards Cole, lay him down on the ground, still maintaining the deceptive appearance of the hag. He does not seem to be in good shape, my friend.
I immediately start triage and try to figure out where the wounds are sort of leaking from, and start ripping bits of his jacket off and start using, patching everything up and tying off.
Make a medicine check, I guess.
Durango's going to produce the healer's kit, if that's...
Yep, sure, with advantage.
As you're kind of like ripping the leather off, you start noticing that the color, like that blue hue, is starting to fade from it too, and it's actually like none of his clothes match.
That's a 15.
With a 15, you assess the wounds, and you can see a lot of the crushing damage, just broken ribs and everything underneath the clothes, and you do your best to treat it, and you feel that his breathing becomes more shallow but consistent. Some of the color returns, but still he's in very, very rough shape and unconscious.
He ain't bleeding no more, but he lost a lot. Can we rest now, Ash?
No response. Ash is unconscious. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
Ashton's
right.
been
That's
alive
right.
here
Yeah, that's
together
right.
with you.
Just me and Ray.
in the mud again. 2 up, 2 down. That hut looming overhead. The sun still high in the noonday sky. Just barely visible through that thick, thick fog that seems to surround and choke you at every angle. A slight, deep laughter just kind of permeates through, familiar, mocking, and is quickly replaced by swarms of insects that just continue to surround and bite, making it even more uncomfortable for you. That is where we'll take our first break. So thank you, everybody, for it's a quick break this evening, but we kind of started a little late, so I usually try to take it around here. Make sure you get your elf eggs in, spend them wisely. Make sure you send all your elf puns to to us at Twitch. The best pun gets a elf egg version of themselves. I don't know what that looks like. None of us do. It will be a surprise to everyone.
Get those puns. Zan's on fire right now.
Whatever.
You got some catching up to do.
All right. We'll see you in a minute.
All right.
All right. So as all of you, Tenzvet is still unconscious, Jay unconscious, but stable. Cole, you are dragging them over to the nearest hut.
Yeah, whatever passes as shelter in this area that's not inhabited by a ghost or a scarecrow or whatever.
Sure. And you find a relatively quiet, swampy ruin. It's still early, so there's no long rest available here unless you guys are going a straight, like 16 or 18 hours.
Just enough to get everyone on their feet.
Okay. I will say within the hour, you two gain consciousness.
Are we gonna do hit dice like a short rest or no?
I'm gonna give you, if you want to wait, and if you want to go another hour, you can
Okay.
short rest and address your wounds if that works. Yeah.
I would prefer that.
Okay.
Look at those dice fly.
Hmm.
On a 2.
Rolling hot garbage over here.
Seriously.
I didn't do so bad.
I'm down to my
Oh, there we go.
D6s. I haven't even gotten over half.
Yeah, I gotta use them all here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, using them all. There you go. Ta-da.
Yep.
And I'll use my arcane recovery to gain back 1 second level spell slot.
Alright, well, got most of the way there. 2/3.
So as all of you take a couple hours to rest and treat your wounds, Tensveta and Ash coming back to consciousness to find Cole and Durango doing the same, like dressing their wounds, and over this broken stone wall and bits of rotting timber, that hut just sort of looming.
I'm guessing we didn't win.
And not quite. There's a there's now a hole where the crystal is, but she's got teeth.
I mean, the house grew legs and started beating the shit out of us. It doesn't surprise me it has teeth.
We can try again, but I'm not going to be able to teleport. However, I do think I might be able to get in and out fairly quickly.
I think that's gonna be the only way. I can't cast nothing till tomorrow at least.
The roots are going to be a pain in the ass. Quite literally. Not nice.
Well, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Is it I understand that the winery found these gems important, but what would we do with them? What use are they to us?
They're the only points of light, like life in the entire country of Barovia, from what our Raven friend was saying before. I don't know. I didn't really get to study it last time that much. There's a purpose for it, and he's obviously given it to some powerful creatures. Or some sort of guardian, you know?
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
I was just saying, do we need to dive back into the house to get it?
Unless you'd like to dig through... And he kind of looks at the tree and guesstimates about 10 feet of wood. Yes.
When I went inside to retrieve Mr. Tens wearing the face of that swamp devil, the hut did not respond. Unfortunately, I cannot do this again until the rising of the sun.
Yeah, maybe you can't, but Ash.
I mean,
That is an idea. We do know where her body is. And you have a dress.
I mean, the last thing I remember is we were fine in the house, then you touched the floorboards, and then I woke up here. So, I'm guessing if we can be in the house, if we didn't kill the house, and we're still alive, means the house stopped attacking us. Which I'm inclined to say means that as long as we're not fucking with the stone, the house doesn't give a shit who it was, what, and where. And I don't think... Let's be frank here, I ain't got the magical acumen to
Who's
fucking
Frank
fake
here?
being a hag. Frank?
Who's
he works
Frank here?
Frankie? Oh, you got Frankie's nuts. Yeah, you know the little dishes on the taverns? They got the nuts. Those are
Oh,
Frankie's.
yeah, they serve it with the terries. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I might have been able to help out if I had some spells, but you know, sort of tapped out. All I can do is maybe run distraction and hope it doesn't throw another rock at me and do severe amount of damage, which it did.
Yeah, no, I understand. It crushed my rib cage. It hurt.
Oh wow, it really fucked you guys up. I just fell out the door.
You're the one that kicked the fucking door in. I don't want to hear a fucking word from you about what we're going to do moving into this house.
The door was open. Yeah. Alright. Door was open, but details.
What we doing? We're retrieving this thing.
We need to. I think it would be imperative if we did. That we did. I don't know if we can do it today. I don't want to stay here for too long. Perhaps we can try talking to that ghost again.
It didn't seem like you wanted company, but you know, if you want to invite more danger, sure.
I'm not talking about danger. Perhaps we actually use some of our skills. Pay attention, see what he may want. Talk to him. Let me see if I can go talk to him. He didn't seem to hate me too much, speaking to him anyway. He was only really aggressive once Durango started talking.
Can't even stand up,
Yes,
mate.
it is easy to see he was intimidated by my greatness. This sometimes happens, yes.
Maybe someone more meek like myself should go and speak with him then.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. I don't know if it worked, but I can try shooting one of my arrows in there. Tie a rope to the one end. Got the one that turns into all the vines. I can know how to do that. It wraps around everything. You try shooting the stone and pulling it out.
That sounds really stupid.
It sounds like it would be difficult to pull off if it's in the floor, yeah?
Perhaps with this arrow of yours, Mr. Ash, you could restrain this unruly hut while the nimble Mr. Tens retrieves the stone.
I mean, I've never tried to make the brambles go that big. It doesn't really stop it. It just kind of
It's more
wraps
for,
itself.
you know, small prey, like rabbits.
Well, it's not necessarily meant to be very, like, restrictive. It's just meant to, like, if you decide that you're gonna try to fight it, fucks you up.
Dennis, can you just burn the place down? We can fish for the stone after. It's rock. It shouldn't burn, right?
Have you seen how much water is in the air?
Mate,
It's-
I'll just...
have you ever tried burning green wood? Doesn't work out very well.
You just use a lot of fire.
I mean, it's just... if you want to go burn it down, by all means. I'm going to go talk to the ghost and see if we can't have a place for the night. Maybe there's something interesting that he can tell us. Maybe he knows something about the stump. Maybe there's a story or two to hear from him.
Okay. So you just head off into the fog by
Hello?
yourself.
Yeah.
It's still daylight. Okay.
No, I'm not, We can't, we can't do this alone. I'll follow him. Mate, this elf is just determined to die. He just won't...
I'm just asking questions. I mean, you know. Okay. So the two of you, walk. What is maybe just a couple hundred feet across the swamp?
About 10 minutes from it, though. I'd like to start ritually casting as we're kind of moving along, and ritually casting Detect Magic. Because I don't trust anything in this fucking land anymore.
Okay. I mean, I would say it's probably a 3 to 5 minute walk. It's not like a 10-minute thing, but if you want to
Wait like 5 minutes and then
okay,
get up there as it goes off.
Yeah. Sure.
Hold on to it.
Yeah.
Love it. Think on it.
As you approach the your detect magic goes off. There's nothing innately magical that resonates with you.
Okay.
You can see faint traces of magic on the skulls on that, where
Right.
you'd already detected it, but otherwise there is nothing magical. The mist forms again. The man himself, tall and imposing, standing above pole where they to stand side by side, but again hunched over, his entrails spilled out like snakes, almost trying to climb down to the ground as he shuffles. Have you returned?
We have returned, though we have not taken care of your adversary of everybody in this land yet. We had a bit of a hard time dealing with a hut, and I believe there's something there that may be able to help us in such an endeavor to take down Strahd, possibly. What happened to you?
The weight of my sins carried by all of Perez. Every stone, every plank. Make a persuasion check. Disadvantage.
$23.
Okay. The story is not a good one. Lord Strahd took interest in our marina. He felt she was his beloved reincarnated. It was my decision to put the poor girl out of her misery, lest she join with his evil. This is the reward for my mercy.
Kind of looks at Cole. Looks back at him and... I'm sorry, do you have a name, sir?
Name. So long ago. Ulrich. Ulrich was my name.
Ulrich, we don't...
Well, while you think about your words carefully, Ash. Through the muck and the mire, the croaking, and the swarming insects, a sound catches your attention. Durango softly plays his lute, plucking away various strings, but this one is a very distinct, heavy thud or sloshing. And as you hear it now, it sounds like footsteps, similar to when the sound that it made when Ash and Tinsveta had left. but it sounds like more than 2 people, and there's a shuffle to it.
Ash will just look over at Durango and just snap, just do a couple quick snaps, like not anything magical, just getting his attention, and give him the universal sign for, cut it out, and then tap his ear and point in the direction, and then mimic people walking ×2.
Durango cocks an eyebrow with interest and mutes the strings. And just waits to see what happens.
And then Ash will peek around, head around a corner, and try to see if he can see anything through the fog.
Sure, make a perception check for me.
Oh boy. Perception. 14.
14. Through the fog in the tall grass, you see a silhouette. Dark figures moving slowly through the mist and the mud. Humanoid in shape, but hard to make out anything else.
Can I see how many? Muted.
Yeah, no, with a 14, you can't make out any numbers. You can just see multiple shapes. It's difficult to say 2, 3, 100.
Ash will dip back in and wave Durango, and he'll try to sneak out the other way to go link up with Cole and Tens, knowing where they're at.
Yeah, moving stealthily, Durango follows.
I was gonna say Ash does like the keep low, and they crouch run as quietly as they can.
Durango scuttles like a man who's, scuttled for his life once or twice.
Ash isn't that far off, although his looks a little more combat related. like he's done this in a fight before.
This has a little more Jack Sparrow flavor.
Muted again.
Well, I'm waiting for my stealth rolls anyways.
Oh.
The descriptions were wonderful.
Fuck. God damn it. Natural 1 for 7.
It's 19.
All right, so Ash, as you are skulking down in your almost military style crouch walk, Durango just comes tiptoeing very sort of flagrantly and flamboyantly with a bit of pizzazz past you, almost but soundless. I mean, it's stunning to watch, and as you're watching him quickly move silently through the swamp in such a fashion, your foot gets tangled in a bit of a root and you stumble forward a bit. Nothing seems to be immediately rushing to your attention. After a few minutes, you make it up to the manor where you see that ghostly figure still standing there, its guts just entwined with pouring out of it in spectral form. Multiply like rodents. Can the dead not stay at peace?
Yeah, not right now. We got company. I don't know how many, but there's something head this way.
Of course there is. That's just...
I say we loop back around. They're coming towards us this way. I say we cut off towards this other cemetery or whatever. And we head back around the other way, get on the other side of them.
Yeah, I agree. I turn to the ghost and just kind of Thank you for the history lesson. We're just gonna go. Yeah, we're just gonna see what this is.
Sorry.
Leave me. As you all just
Leave him.
leave him. Yeah. Do exactly as he asked.
Wish granted. Bye.
As you push back down into the swamp, what does this formation look like? What are you doing?
I figured we'd probably go up this way and then try to loop around these houses so that way whatever's coming down by the river or wherever
It's by the
were at-
river?
That's what I thought, because thought we were like over in this area again.
I thought you guys were right here or here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured we were up in here. Can you like
So then
possibly
I saw
draw
where-
out where they were coming from?
Yeah, I would think I saw him on this road, but
Give me a line.
Yeah, I would say follow the road, right along the road. Which is really not necessary because as you guys come around, you can start to see the shapes. What looks like people. Hard to tell a definitive number, just shuffling along that muddy road.
Yeah,
I
no.
will give you guys a moment to decide if you are turning and running, or if you are engaging, or if you're trying to be
turning and running.
Doing the best we can to avoid them
Yeah.
while not completely leaving the area.
Okay, so what does that look like? Heading down to the river, trying to just to scuttle quietly along the
Well, they're
southern
coming-
wall here. If they're coming this way, they
that's
seem to be
probably-
walking.
If they're
This
coming down
way.
along this way, I would think that we would probably want to go back this way
Yep.
to the river, where it's
Yeah.
going to be, where at least the river can give us some semblance of cover in terms of sound.
Okay.
Tins is going to offer to stay back, though. He'll like give a quick mental chill to Cole and be like, "Do you want me to watch? See what they are?
Mate, I can't peel you off the floor again.
I'll be careful."
No, Tens, I'm more than happy to let you run off on your own. Good luck. Godspeed.
All right, Tins is going to crouch down near a wall and be as quiet as he can be and just watch.
So why don't we
reaches
do?
out and- Yeah, have an
No.
inspiration for stealth. Cool.
Sure.
All right.
But
So
Cole
why
or
don't?
Chuck?
Cole.
Yeah.
Guy in
I
heavy
mean,
armor needs it.
So yeah, why don't we all make stealth checks,
Come on, not a natural one.
and then Ten's gonna make a perception check.
A natural one for a 7 on the stealth.
Yeah, so it's a D6 for your inspiration dice.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So that was let me. My first dice was 12 and a D7. D7, really?
D6.
D6. Okay.
Did I say 7?
I thought I heard 7. I could be going crazy though. So
I
it'd be
said
fif-
7
Oh,
because I got a
that's
7
what.
total on my
yeah,
stealth
okay.
check.
That's where I got confused. 15 on my stealth.
20 on mine.
So all of you begin to crouch down around the broken cottages, the ruins towards the river, the water thick, in the mud thick and cold up to your ankles as you slosh through it as quietly as possible. Ten sitting back and waiting along a bit of stone. You can see these figures now walking past. Although they don't seem to be immediately interested in you or your group, they just shuffle along the path through the muddy water. One of them, as you stare, a bit of stone that you're leaning against crumbles and falls and splashes into the water. You can see one of the figures turn towards you, this bloated, corpse looking at you, the eyes just sunken and gone. As it looks at you, its mouth opens wide as insects and a snake just boils out, wraps around, in through one of the empty eye sockets and back down. Its head back the other way, and she just continues to shuffle along the path.
How many of them does it seem like there are, and how long does it seem like that is
Really tough in the fog to get a good, accurate count with an 11. I'm gonna say you counted at least 4 or 5.
Okay, I'm gonna stand there and wait until there's none left, and then I'm gonna try and follow them since they don't seem to care that I'm there. Well, hold on. Is it that they don't care that I'm there, or is it that they are like? What like can I get a grip on what they're doing here?
Make an insight check, I guess.
That's what I was going for. It's like a 25.
25. The best that you can figure, although you're not certain it is Barovia, but you have seen these spirits and corpses before, and much like the ghost that you were just communicating with, there is a significant amount here that is just trapped. Not necessarily originally malevolent in nature, just trapped, right? Okay. And it doesn't mean that they won't engage if you interact with them, but they seem to be on a very set course and probably walk this path over and over and over again.
From where we're at, can I get a grip on where they're trying to go? Muted.
Yeah, I know I'm muted, Chuck. Just let me get there. All right.
No.
It's difficult through the fog with your 11 to get a really good grip on how many and where they're headed, because they disappear quickly.
Okay.
Right. And if you can start to give chase if you want to try to follow closely. Just remember that each square on this particular map is the one that we're looking at is 100 feet. So it's difficult to say. They, coming down the road, they could be They seem to be circling back up north, but a good chunk of this road that was once a part of the town has long since disappeared and gotten grown over. So you're not even certain if they're following a set path or not. It's difficult to say.
Tenza's gonna stalk back to his party. Actually, I think at this rate, he's not even gonna be quiet about it. He's just gonna walk around and see if he can find him, just kind of looking around. Hey. Clear.
Over here behind the barrels.
His barrels?
Well,
he's just kind of like, huh?
What's left of barrels?
So, the thing is, I don't think they're actually that much of a threat. I know there's a lot of them. I think if we just stay away from them, they won't be a problem.
Could you discern what matter of them they were?
Big, bloated, scary, bug-filled, deathwalkers. I don't know.
This will affect the property value here, I assure you. Perhaps this lot is less desirable than I first assumed.
My point is, I think they may actually have like a set route that they have to walk as part of their penance, their sins of Berez, as our friendly Ulrich said on the hill.
So you just think they're constantly marching around then?
Probably. Part of their penance. Ugly fuckers, by the way. Disgusting. I don't even think you could clean them up, Durango.
So, my friends, I believe this brings us back to our original discussion. What shall we do, if anything, regarding the hut and the stone?
I mean, it's either we do it today, we jump in, we jump out as quick as we can, knowing that none of us are doing very well, and none of us can help very well. Or we wait till tomorrow and reford the river and spend another night back across.
My
Or we
friends,
just move on.
I feel there is no crossing the river for Durango until I have had a good night's sleep.
I can always make another boat. Look, I am not leaving this town without that stone. If I die here, so be it.
Well,
Alright.
I guess we're curling up with goats for warmth then.
Hey, did it occur to you that we got a bunch of great meat in there? We'll have a meal like we haven't had in a while, boys.
That's actually...
This is the first goat I have seen since we entered this cursed land.
Alright.
Oh, mate, it's no more dangerous than you skulking around some undead corpses, ain't it?
So tonight we shall feast on goat after we celebrate.
Theoretically, they belong to Strahd, so...
Yeah, well, at this point, I think technically we belong to Strahd too, as much as anything else. So
I do not belong to that fuckstick.
Well, at least you got your prisoner for a bit, eh? So, might as well eat some of his
like-
goats.
yeah, it'll just piss him off. That'll make you feel better, right?
No.
Hey, he's already angry.
Who, me or him?
Oh, Strahd.
I don't think he's angry. I think he's bored.
Well, where are we pitching camp then tonight?
It's still early in the day, mate. I don't know, you know.
You know how long it takes to
Okay.
skin and clean a goat? Butcher it?
Approximately 2 hours, I would assume.
I don't know. I literally don't know. I've never done it.
You've
Well-
obviously never been a part of a ritual, then. It kind of gives a look to Durango and looks back.
No,
Or at least seen the after effects or such.
So?
maybe.
This
Yes.
is how I see it. Mr. Tens is eager to retrieve the stone. So we shall assist him in this. Then we shall return, retrieve a goat, lead it from this cursed place. We shall walk north, parallel to the river, as far away as we can. We shall take a rest when it is ready to do so, and tomorrow we cross.
Sounds like a plan, Rango.
Mr. Tens, Mr. Esh,
I'm not allowed to make decisions anymore.
I'm glad we have an understanding.
Durango claps his hands together once. Wonderful, my friends.
Who's getting the goat?
Well, let's get the stone first.
We're getting the stone today. Are we going to make camp, eat a goat, and then go get the stone?
Why don't you just listen to Rango? We get the stone now, alright? And then we get the goat and we rest up later.
I'll be honest with you. I listen to about the first 3 words that he says and the last 3 words that he says, and usually I get a good gist of what he's saying, but...
I do not hold it against you, my friend. I understand that my words are quite potent. For one such as yourself, it must be quite overwhelming to listen to me speak, and for this I am sincerely apologetic.
I don't believe you are apologetic.
Alright, let's go snag the stone.
I think only one of us should go in this time, though. The rest of us can hang back.
Yeah, actually, I don't hate the idea of you messing with fire. If you'd like to set fire to the roots, I might be able to get in and out without being touched. If I have a moment to prepare, now that I know that it's going to reach in and beat me with its roots.
Okay, all I've got is this torch, so if it's wet wood, it'll take a bit. Unless someone's got something magical.
The only other thing I could think of to do would be to suck the moisture from the wood, but that might be a little odd, considering that it moves, so I don't know if it'll work.
So I think out of fire's probably out. I think
Thank God.
in and out as fast as you. Oh, that's right, Ash. In and out as quick as you can, yeah. And if it starts going south, just you'll die. I won't be able to just. It's I mean, it's no sugarcoating it, mate. He'll die. So if this one's on you, no Papa Cole saving you this time.
It's probably how charming a hut is there.
All right. So here's the plan, JD. I'm going to spend a total of 12 seconds to blade sing before going in. And then I will also kinetic jaunt to give myself a 50-foot move speed. I can't take opportunity attacks. And I can move through other creatures' spaces if necessary. I'll have advantage on dexterity saving throws for acrobatics. And I'll have a +2 to AC, make my AC 18. My goal is to go in, action, grab the thing, and bonus action dash out.
Okay, great.
Just
So
telling you
you-
the plan.
Yeah. You prepare yourself. How long do all those things last?
Blade
Simply
Song
kinetic
lasts.
jaunt?
Blade Song lasts a minute, and Kinetic Jaunt lasts a minute as well.
Blade Song that's just an action. That's a feature, right? But
Yeah, it's just a
Kinetic
bonus
Jaunt
action.
that's your second level spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
So you quickly cast all those and you rush in. Where's everybody else? Let's get some positions here. Just let's assume the house is going to come to life and want to beat you all to death.
Durango's 120 feet away and positively shredding on his mandolin.
Perfect
Like he's
rock
trying to distract
difference.
him.
Yep.
Ash is gonna be 60 feet away, kind of flanked off to the side from wherever Durango is.
As close as I can get, out of reach of the roots.
Out of reach of the roots. What would you say the reach of the roots are?
I would, you tell me that. You gotta. As far as I saw, like I should have a little bit of an idea of how far they go based off what we saw.
Sure. Make an intelligence check for me.
All
Oh,
right.
that's gonna be great.
You underestimate me, Tensveta.
That's Chuck.
You underestimate me, Chuck.
Oh, you jinxed it. It hovered on that 19.
I
It
know.
hovered on the 19,
I know.
and then the wind created by Chuck's laughing breath flipped it to the 3.
I'll think about right here, like a face up against the root.
Logic. It is rational and logical to think that this particular entity, this living house, would have to follow all the same physical rules that any other house built on a tree would. And you see about 15 feet root that's visible sticking out of the ground. So you say, well, just stay as far a little further than that, right?
Yep.
20,
Right.
30 feet. It's all good.
Durango 120 feet away. Ash, where were you?
I was 60 feet away on a 45-degree angle off of wherever Durango was.
Okay. Tensveta, you prepare yourself and you rush in.
Yep.
As you burst through the door, the first thing you notice is that crib again. Hard to miss it. Illusory in nature, but still looks so lifelike. You hear the baby crying. Underneath that familiar green glow, although the floorboards have completely sealed themselves back up.
Fuck.
You dash in, ready to grab, and unfortunately, the floor is completely sealed again.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use my action to use another first level spell slot and Frost Fingers in that space.
All right, I'm gonna give you that one, but let's go ahead and get our initiatives in for afterwards.
What the hell?
And these dice are not my friend today.
Oh, they were mine.
Did
What'd the
12
house get this
damage.
time?
All right, so as you see that the hole is still there, you guys watch as Tensveta goes in. You see that flash as the ice shatters the floor again, that hole opening up, and you can see that green gem inside. But the second that the floorboards begin to crack, the entire hut begins to shake and move. Give me an acrobatics check.
Yep. $21.
21. So you manage to stabilize yourself as it picks itself back up off the ground and begins to lurch and try to shake you out of it again. You can see the mouth already beginning to form around the gem, just gnashing in place. All right. So first up, Durango, as the hut comes back to life.
So Durango's like standing in the fog in a dramatic pose, just shredding on his mandolin. As the tree hut starts to move again, the tone of his playing changes a little bit. His mandolin starts to glow. The light kind of starts to build up. He points the headstock towards a tree and looses off a psychic lance.
That's 120 feet.
120 feet.
Okay.
So that's a DC 15 intelligence save.
Well, this
Can't
may
imagine
surprise you.
how this is
This
smart.
may surprise you.
Does it have an Alexa?
It was a
Minus
net
five.
-5.
Yeah, nice.
13.
Nice.
It's still
Alright.
almost past though.
I was starting to wonder if I was gonna have to use one of those anti-inspirations there. So that's 13 damage, and the house is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
18 damage.
Oh, 18. All right, sorry.
Incapacitated, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Incapacitated.
But it's
Wow.
psychic lance, right?
Yep.
The house takes no damage.
It ain't got no brain.
It has no brain. And
Typically,
I don't
houses
think-
don't have movement speed either. All right, so I was raging.
yeah,
Use you houseboats.
I don't think I can give you the incapacitated here. You know what? I will give it to you because it doesn't. It has a lot of condition immunities, and incapacitated is not one. It is immune to psychic damage. So while the house doesn't notice it, it has the most minute of intelligences. So while it shudders for a moment and stops, you can see in a quick moment, Durango, as the lance just slams into it. Nothing really happens. It just kind of dissipates against the form, but everything just kind of stops in place for a moment.
Tens comes flying out due to the movement and momentum.
Yeah. Tens just
Yeah,
jumps.
inertia.
Unfortunately, you can't
Like half
incapacitate
up.
physics.
Is that end your turn?
Yes.
Ash.
Oh fuck! Forget this, and you just see Ash's eyes frost over the bright shiny blue and coma cold. It's got a 20 Constitution. Didn't think this through, but
Also, Tens is in there.
I'm hoping that the house blocks it. So
I have cover.
I think
Yeah.
you said you were 60 feet away, right?
yep. So it was right at the edge.
Okay.
Seriously, 26 on 8d8?
Oh, oops. I hit the
Boom.
wrong thing.
Wow.
Oh no, my Constitution saving throw was a 21. I did get it right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh.
So it's a save, so it takes half damage.
Yeah, take that 13 cold damage, and then halved again probably for resistance.
Oh, you know, it's a house. It's not resistant to cold. Come on.
My
I know.
house
I'm just pessimistic at this point.
Just because my electric lines are not resistant to the
You live in
cold does not mean
Texas.
my
That's why your house is resistant to cold. There is no such thing. All right. Yeah. So as this blast of icy cold, you see it can encompass around the roots. It just freezes up from the ground. One of the roots is as the whole house is kind of frozen in place now. It just freezes up and just creeps up this cold wind that blasts out of your hands and up the side of the house. It just kind of spikes the air, frosting as it does.
I'm still not used to this. And then bonus action. We will do the thing that I do that second wind. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Solid 10 points of healing.
Second wind hit dice?
No, it
No.
sort of. It's literally
It
just a
heals your
D10
hit
plus
dice,
your.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Plus D10, 1d10 plus your fight.
I just want to make sure you had hit dice left to spend if you're. I know you guys used a bunch.
It doesn't use it.
All right. The hut is not currently moving. Tenzveta.
I'm ripping that stone out if you'll give it to me. Using my sun sword to do so if necessary.
Do me a favor and make a dexterity saving throw.
$22.
All right. And now I feel better because you make it. Because I'll say even though the house itself isn't moving, the floor, those teeth are still gnashing inside, just out of instinct, right? So you have to time it. As the whole house stops, suddenly you lurch forward, you just see the gnashing teeth, you reach in and grab it, and as you yank the gem out, you can feel the roots and everything try to hold on to it. You pull, and they snap and twist, and this almost like subtle scream kind of pierces your ears as the house just suddenly crashes to the ground with a thud as it just the legs cave out from underneath it, like falling dead like a spider crouching down on the ground. It's just water, bits of water and debris splash everywhere. All of you watch as the house just grows quiet.
Tens kind of waltzes out onto the front porch. Got it.
Alright. You know, Tens, I thought it was going to be the end of you, to be honest. I'm fairly impressed.
And he's just gonna like look at it for a second. I don't think we're gonna have to deal with the house anymore. And he kind of tosses it up in his hand for a second and sets it back inside of his jacket pocket. There was a chest in here if anybody else wants to come look with me. Ignore the baby though. And he's gonna step back inside and kind of start looking around a little bit more thoroughly, starting with the desk.
Okay.
Bull's gonna head inside again.
Yeah, Durango as well.
Ash will not. Ash will pull Car outside.
The so Tenzveta, make an investigation check for me.
19.
Most of what you find around the desk and the cabinets and everything are, I guess, what you would consider reagents, or in some instances, trophies and pickled remains of some creature, pieces of them as they're scattered about in various jars and kind of haphazardly placed all over the cavern itself. The only thing of note other than that would be that wooden chest, those copper bands. Seemingly the only thing of any value.
Does it look locked? Is there a lock on it?
It does not. It has a lock. You can't tell if it is locked without going over to it and actually trying to inspect it or any of that.
Sure. We'll check it for traps.
Yeah,
Look it
give it
over.
another. Give it a check.
16.
16. So you look at the locking mechanism, and you've done this a few times here. You look around the mechanism itself, looking for any triggers or any sort of signs of magical runes or engraving, anything. Nothing catches your attention.
I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna use a charge from my Wand of Secrets just to see if there's anything that pops up.
Can you read the verbiage? Is it secret doors?
Or trap.
Despite the fact that you examined and looked at it, when you tap it with the Wand of Secrets, the chest immediately begins to illuminate that there is some sort of magical trap component.
He looks over his shoulder, wand still like vibrating in that direction. Durango, you think you can get rid of a magical trap for me?
My friend, you have truly come to the right person with this quandary. I, the great Durango Fortescue, he's speaking as he walks forward through the hut. I'm the greatest at disarming of traps and the unraveling of magic secrets. Continues on this stream of self-congratulatory nonsense as he plays his mandolin and casts Dispel Magic.
Okay. You watch as the glowing effect from the Wand of Secrets as Durango plays his softer melody for Dispel Magic. Suddenly, the trap vanishes. Huh? I didn't realize those were visible.
Oh, I wasn't gonna do it. Did you ever say anything? I was just gonna open it if you didn't say that. I was just to see if there was something else in the room. All right, let's try and open it up.
Cool. As you open the chest, a couple things happen. The magical effect does not go off. Immediately, you are you can see the gold, the piles of gold. Coins, gems shine brilliantly in the overcast light, just catching your eye, glinting, as well as a bunch of scrolls, all kinds of things just strewn about the interior of this chest. From underneath them, it's suddenly a few of the gold pieces move. Suddenly, a hand appears, reaching out from the interior. And as those fingers reach the top of the pile, it lurches at you and leaps from the chest. As I once again need everybody to roll initiative.
It's 9 square feet. Like, how are we like? How there's so much danger and.
This house fucking sucks.
Yeah, place is a dump, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, thanks to whoever's Durango, your blue dice. Bouncing up into a 3.
I've been getting some sick initiative rolls tonight.
Yeah.
You usually go first, to be honest.
You do pretty good.
It's upsetting. Granted, you get to anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, so is that first one goes leaping at Tenzveta? Durango already has
You
his
actually see
mandolin.
several of them, Durango. They all just start pulling themselves out of this chest, like a sea of like just disembodied hands just swarming out of it.
Yeah, with his mandolin already at the at his in his hands from casting Dispel Magic, he launches into a rift and starts blasting off Eldritch Blasts at the one that was actually leaping at Tenzveta, whichever one that happened to be. It's 14 to hit.
14 hits, yeah.
For 7 damage. Second attack. So 24 to hit for
24 hits.
5 damage. Good initiative rolls, bad damage rolls tonight.
Doesn't take much. Yeah, as the two of these hands just leap out like attempting to claw and grab at Tenzveta. Suddenly, he kind of stumbles backwards a bit, shocked. The two of the Eldritch Blasts fly over his shoulder and just explode them in midair. Bits of like rotten flesh and viscera just shower over you, Tenzveta.
Oh, Durango steps to the side to make room for Cole to come in.
How many of them are like? How many of them can I see?
You see two more.
You know what? Screw it. Let's drop that last spell slot down on all of them. I need a con save from the last Frost Fingers.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Oh, now I roll semi-decent damage for 12.
Yeah. So the last two, just as they are like creeping up, out, getting ready to hinge themselves and launch out, they just freeze in place, grasping on. Now, like two handles attached to the chest itself.
Well, if we can get it off the floor, now we can carry it out. Congratulations on your plunder.
Is that the end of the danger in the house? Who knows? Keep looking.
There appears to be a fair amount of shine in that box, no? Durango,
Scrolls I'd
down.
like to look at later.
I'll flank
Durango
the other
starts running
side.
gold through his fingers.
Yeah.
Ash peeks in. What's going on? I heard some. Whew.
Yeah, it was
It's
just a
ooh,
bunch
huh?
of hands. Literally, it was disembodied hands. Stuff on the chest.
Fuckery. Right fuckery.
Is there anything useful in the chest?
Cole tosses one of the frozen ones at Ash.
Ash catches it and is just kind of like, waves with it.
I
Tosses
thought you
it
might
over his shoulder.
Thought you might like something cold instead of something hot, huh?
I mean, as far as the meal's concerned, this not very appetizing.
He's gonna start grabbing scrolls and start like pulling them out, seeing if
Sure.
he can figure out what they do.
Taking a few moments to go through it. You find 1,300 gold pieces, 500 gold pieces worth of. I'm sorry, 500 gold piece gemstones. Another small stone. You're not sure what it is, but it looks valuable. It's got symbols engraved all along it. A random jar of thick oil-like substance. A sling, like a quiver with what looks like some very nice arrows, just 10 of them, and the 2 scrolls.
Okay.
Various letters can also be found inside. They're all written in different hands with different dates from different places, different people, to and from different people, all to what seem like random individuals who maybe are adventurers or soldiers or bounty hunters. Like it's a various slog of information, but it seems to be a collection of maybe stuff that she has taken from other people along the way.
That's 950 gold apiece between the gems and the gold.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't know what we're gonna use it for, but I'll take it.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
But why, Mr. Ash, I would hate to burden you with this useless gold here. Allow me.
No, not. And listen, if we ever get out of here, I'm gonna need this. I'm just saying.
One last thing too. There's an odd set of, as you get to the bottom, like kind of buried under a lot of the gold, an odd set of looks like pipes. A couple holes cut out.
Like smoking pipes or like plumbing pipes?
Like
Musical instrument.
Instrument pipes. Yeah,
Oh.
they are
Give those
crude
to
and make
Durango.
and fashioned out of bone. There's two small little raven skulls that are bouncing along the tops of them, sewn in with leather cord.
After getting the coin and kind of taking a look at the scrolls, we'll take the time to look at them later. I'm interested in these letters. I am proficient in forgery, in the forgery kit. Looking them over, do any of them seem fake?
Make an investigation check with advantage.
15.
Oh, give me a history check too.
Six.
So Tensveta didn't, although he spent some time wandering before coming to Barovia, he hasn't spent a ton of time in the prime material.
Right.
So a lot of the references to places and names elude you, and it's various countries, cities of origin. None of them look fake, and they vary from like letters from loved ones or siblings or missives like mission notes, werewolf bounties, things of that nature. It's nothing worth faking.
Someone got a hold of the mailman, eh?
I don't think so. I think these are all old victims.
Naturally, Durango's gonna scoop up those pipes. Start checking them out.
Toss the quiver of arrows over to Ash.
Oh, this thing's fucking nice. Is it nice?
The quiver itself isn't anything special, but the arrows all seem nice, and they are carved with there's some lettering or runes or something carved down the side of them.
And we got a rock.
A small stone, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Two
I gotta look at
scrolls,
these later.
a stone, some goop in a jar, arrows, tons of gold.
Well, it ended up being worth it, right?
Tried to tell you.
You know.
I
I'm
do
just
know.
I'm just saying, mate. We're not in the best of condition currently.
I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine after a bit of rest.
I'm better, but I'm still sort of tapped out. I prefer no more adventures. Besides maybe roasting as a goat.
Fine with that. Sounds good to me.
Until then, gentlemen, perhaps I could interest you in this small stone or jar of goop.
Maybe tomorrow.
I'll take a look at that stone, Rango.
Consider it your circle. You have most definitely earned it.
Yeah. So is what sort of runes are carved on it?
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, that was almost a 20. That's a 12.
You're not certain on the exact runes themselves, or even 100% what the purpose is. Although with a 12, I will give you that one of the symbols catches your eye from a religious perspective, it's a sign in what is maybe dwarvish or an older archaic form of it, for good luck, for good fortune. If it's magic, you're not sure. It could just be somebody's good luck charm. It's gonna take more time.
Yeah. I look at it and I just go, "Hey, look at that! It's a lucky rock," and I toss it in my pouch. As much as I'd love to stay in a formerly living house, if we're good here, it's gonna take us a bit of time to capture a goat and roast it up and set up camp and all that.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I'll have Tens try to read these, or somebody, I guess, try to read these arrows later. They got some weird writing on them.
You know, stare at things long enough and eventually it'll make sense, right?
I mean,
He just brushes past on the way out the door.
no, that's not how that works, but okay.
Alright, let's go get ourselves a goat.
Got to have ourselves a feast.
Okay, so I will say that as you go to the pen, there is easily 5 goats in that pen. You find one that looks particularly plump to take with you. What do you do with the remaining 4?
Ride them.
True. True.
I know you do. You could do it. You could totally do it. You should do it.
I don't have the spell yet.
Oh, you don't? Oh, no.
No. You convinced me to take a larger deuce.
I know.
The horse is gone. The horse is gone. Why did I not think of? Oh no.
Yep. I think we lock him back in here for the eventual time when Tens can make us a few mounts.
Actually, I could make. We could enlarge one and have a giant goat.
Yeah.
For what, an hour?
Yep. Yep.
You know, maybe if you eat it fast enough.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
enlarged goats though, you'll just be hungry again in an hour.
No.
It's
You enlarge
like
it to make it a
the
giant goat
street
to ride
goats.
it. Like a horse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sure.
Alright.
Yeah. So I think we try to shut the gate back as best we can, and you know. Or do you want to just let? You want to just let him
just
out?
let him go. Yeah.
Yeah, just let him out.
Why would you do that? They're just
Well-
gonna get eaten by the things in the woods.
It is
Or
better
they're
than
good.
starving to death in a pen, no?
They're not
Yeah.
starving. They have plenty of food here. He kind of leans over to look as I grass.
There's some. Again, you have no idea who the next people that would ever come by to set them free would be. So between their own, it's not a great space for an extended period of time. Let's just go that route.
Fine.
We'll leave the gate open.
I mean, they're probably dead either way, so. Whatever.
Yeah. Might as
You're
well have some
probably dead
freedom
either
before they
way.
die. Oh, yeah, that's fair. All right, come on, go.
What?
Yeah.
If It's got this particular goat has a kind of an angry expression.
Is it trying to summon the Great Leviathan?
It's very small.
It's just
Doesn't have a
small,
southern accent.
plump. Does it scream a lot?
It faints.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, go to check out our Goat Crashers one shot. It was fantastic.
I don't even know if that's uploaded. I gotta find that one. That's gotta be around somewhere.
I have it. It's just not
Do
up
ya?
yet.
Oh, okay.
Shit was
It'll be up.
bonkers.
Coming soon.
I'll do that again. Anyway.
So as far as I remember, if I remember the plan, it was to go parallel to the river to the north, try to kind of the way you guys originally came, as you follow that mountain with your goat companion, a few hours out of the swampy, wet grasslands that surround this riverside, out of the cold, although that cold water still kind of filling your boots and socks. It makes it a difficult trudge.
Nah, if anybody complains about that, I'll just pull it out. Cantrips, baby.
We're getting real liberal with that shape water, but sure. I'm gonna start making you roll to make sure you don't pull the water out of somebody.
Ooh.
Along with it.
The DMs are coming for your take water.
Your shape water.
It is Barovia. I can just mess with spells. So as you make your way back north, you see the after a few hours before you decide to make camp, you can see just barely on the horizon the tip of those ruined stone towers, that castle of Angervolstholt. You've camped here before, or similar, or close by. The river maybe several hundred feet below you, down a rock. Down as the terrain gets rockier and rockier. But you find a nice slope. You slaughter a goat. You all bed down for the evening, feeling accomplished and better for it. And I think that it's a good place to end the session. So, a little earlier than usual tonight, but I think it's just a good spot. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you so much to Foundry Forge, Tabletop Audio, and of course Dice Envy. For those of you that have been paying attention, make sure you get your elf eggs in. 2,000 elf eggs, of course, will get you an entry into our dice giveaway, which we are giving away
at some point in time.
At some point in time, but we're giving away these bad boys. You know, I don't know the name of the dice. They're beautiful. They're iridescent. Get them. Elf eggs.
They're the dice, Dice Envy Elysium dice. They are beautiful. I promise you, they look better in person than they do in the pictures. It's really hard to get a good picture of iridescent dice, but they're absolutely gorgeous in person. We do that every month for those of you that are new, so stick around on the channel. You're almost guaranteed to win yourself a very nice set of dice. I think that is all I have, so why don't we go ahead and have we'll go ahead and have Ash. Why don't you figure out where we're gonna raid for Ryan?
Oh boy, lots of responsibility. Again, don't let me fail. 8. Hard to fail at this, but you know.
Okay.
Nice big 8.
It looks like we're going to Fear Factor, Stream of Stars D&D by Teaching Gamers.
Love it. Well, we could all learn a lesson or two from these folks. Ryan will announce the winner of the Elf Egg Off. I don't know what I love what just happened there, but yeah. In the Discord, so make sure you're in the Discord. And yeah, I think that's all I got. Everything's on YouTube. Everything's in podcast. Go watch it, listen to it, eat it. I don't care.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow for a Sinistry.
Good night, everybody.
Later, nerds.
Cheers.